So the next movie that we'll be reviewing in this series leading up to Infinity War in May is
The Incredible Hulk.
The shadows are calling us out. We are heroes, heroes in the darkest time, when there is no light. Oh, we are heroes, heroes in the darkest times.
The Incredible Hulk is about the scientist Bruce Banner, who's on the run from the U.S. government, and Thunderbolt Ross, and is trying to find a cure to when he rages out and turns into a monster whenever he loses his temper. Now, this is a movie that is in one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time, as I mentioned last episode. I mean, it's just, I love this Hulk. I mean, I like the new Hulk too, but I just really love this Hulk, and I saw this as a kid and loved it. And what were your reactions?
Yeah, you definitely like this movie a lot more than I do. This one I don't really remember as much. I'm not sure we saw this one in the theater. I thought the CGI was really good. I definitely dislike it, but again, kind of like my complaint about War Machine, just having the actor be someone different for the first time, that kind of affected my opinion on it. I guess after they hired the new actor to play the Hulk, but I definitely thought the fight sequences were really good, especially the end one, obviously, between him and Abomination. I know it's definitely a fact that I did not enjoy this movie as much as he did, but it's probably just because I think it came out in 2009, right?
2008.
2008. Okay, because I don't really remember seeing this movie in theater. I know I saw it a lot of times since we got it on DVD, and I really just kind of I've rewatched it a lot of times, but just I really only basically remember like a lot of obviously like the fight sequences and stuff like that. So, I mean, the CGI and all the fights are really good. The acting is really good. I thought just, it was a little too, like, I guess definitely the darkest, I feel like, out of all the Marvel movies, like, probably the least amount of jokes. But,
yeah,
so that might be a little bit of a negative for me.
I remember the first time I saw this movie, believe it or not, I was literally in my sister's room, and it was on this tiny TV that was probably like 5x5, is that very big? And
it's pretty small.
It's literally like the worst TV you could ever think of. A box, tiny little TV on the floor. I think it was like around Christmas because that's when I got the DVD. And I love the movie that much, seeing it on a crappy TV on the floor like that in the worst quality. So I think you can tell that I really like this movie, because if I like it even in that terrible situation when I'm watching that terrible TV, then I have to like it a lot.
So for talking about the transformation scenes when he turns into the Hulk, I definitely think that first scene where you really see him turn into the Hulk fully, when he's in that little, like, what building is he in? Where it was, like, glass. And
he's in, like, the hallway.
It gets, like, filled up with, like, smoke and gas.
Yeah, the smoke.
So that was definitely a pretty cool scene to see, like, the shadow grow and he jumps out.
Well, I definitely think his transformation scene, which there's one. Yeah, there's really only one, I guess.
Maybe yeah, because the first one you don't really see, and then when he jumps off the helicopter, he's really just already into the Hulk. Actually,
you don't see him transform.
Well, for the scene when he's like in the lab when he gets forced to turn into the Hulk, that's kind of a scene there.
Yeah, no, that's definitely the transformation scenes. I think are so much better in this movie than anything else. I mean, in the Hulk or in Thor Ragnarok, you see him turn from Hulk to human, which is pretty good, but I just think the way, like, when he transforms in the lab, like, you hear, like, his bones cracking. It's like so much. I just think it's so much better because it's so much more. And then when he changes in the glass hallway, I just think it's so cool how he comes out of his clothes like that and, like, his shirt rips in the back. I just think that's been, no Hulk transformations have been better than that.
And then for, like, I guess specifically the battle sequences, I guess I would probably have to say the best one's probably the last one between him and Abomination. The scene where he takes on, like, the army and, what's his name?
Abomination.
No, before his Abomination. Kowalski, whatever, yeah. Like, that scene there with in the field with, like, the
army.
Just that whole scene there is pretty cool. But I just think the scenes that he wasn't the Hulk, I mean, it's kind of what you want to see. Just for me, I just don't really remember that much about it. If I had to rank this in all the movies in the cinematic universe for MCU, I'd probably be in the bottom tier. But that, for me, it just isn't... I didn't see it in the theater, so it's hard to really say what I think about it. But I mean, saying it's in the bottom tier is not really an insult because there's a lot of really good movies in the MCU. So
yeah, I mean, as a kid, I always skipped over the parts without the Hulk. So really, the movie was only 30 minutes for me. But definitely the fight scenes are just so amazing in this movie that it makes the movie perfect to me. And I mean, now that I watch it, it's obviously the main two actors, Betty Ross, which I know is not her name in real life, but whatever her actor's name is, and Edward Norton are definitely really good in the movie. And then Thunderbolt Ross is good in the movie. I mean, he's supposed to be just the guy who's hunting him down. and I mean, the end fight scene is the best fight scene. Is the best fight scene ever. What is the cat doing? Kitty.
It's gracious, Kitty.
But the end fight scene is the best one-on-one fight in the history of movies to me. So that fight alone made me just love this movie and think there's nothing wrong.
Okay, so for the final scores for this movie, like I said, I mean, it's definitely not a bad movie. It just wasn't one of my favorite movies. I just really only like the fight scenes in it. I'd probably give it a 7 because, like I said, the CGI is really good, the acting's really good. It wasn't a bad movie. It was definitely a really good superhero movie. Just when you compare it to all these new ones that we're getting, it's definitely just not as good as those. But I would probably give it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, this is definitely a movie that if I saw trailers for it and went into that, I mean, I guess I saw trailers, but I was in a weird phase where I just didn't go out to theaters and see movies.
Yeah, movies just weren't this. We didn't really view
Yeah.
movies the same as we do now.
It was definitely not the same, and I mean, just the way, thinking back at it, if I would see trailers, it's different, but I just can't think of any negatives really in the movie. Like Iron Man, I will not give every movie a 10 out of 10, but I have to give this a 10 out of 10.
I mean, if it's your favorite superhero, then
Yeah, it's my favorite superhero.
View it differently.
It's my favorite superhero. That's why I have to give it 10 out of 10. I mean, just the fight scenes, how he transforms is like just amazing, and then the CGI is really good. Abomination just looks amazing, and then that fight is just such an awesome fight because it's just a physical fist fight that he uses the cars, and then he pins over against the wall and stabs him. Like, that's the fight I want to see with Thanos and Hulk. So that's why if that fight ever happens, still this fight has not been dethroned from any fight. Thor vs. Hulk isn't better, so I'm just waiting for a fight to be better. But that is my final thoughts.
So that was our quick review of The Incredible Hulk. Quick recap of the scores. I gave it a 7 out of 10.
I gave it 10 out of 10.
And the next movie that we'll be reviewing in this series leading up to the Infinity War
Is
movie in
Iron
May.
Man 2.
Yes, Iron Man 2. And we'll see you guys in the next movie review. Bye, guys.